there, it's Kevin with the Rogue Deck Builder here with this week's episode of the Tuesday Brewsday. Now, I'd like to apologize because I missed a week and I had a commitment that I was going to try to get a brew a week. It is a little bit ambitious with the holiday season. I also said I was going to bring in the community input. We're going to pick cards. We're going to build deck lists. We're going to have a kumbaya, all hold hands. Let's do that after the holiday season. It's very stressful right now owning my own local game store, as well as trying to keep up with this channel. But I will reiterate the promise that I'm going to try to go back to brewing and at least give you a brew per week. And this week, I had this opened in one of my pre-releases, which was Over the Top. And I ended up not playing in that pre-release because I don't play if there's even numbers. I'm kind of the fill-in player. But the deck was pretty interesting. It had a card that you could sacrifice artifacts to do a damage to each opponent. And then it was just loaded full of Power Stones. And so that was going to be the strategy, is just get a bunch of Power Stones out, cast Over the Top, and then find cards off the top of my library. And then after my Power Stones untapped, then able to sacrifice all of the Power Stones to do damage to the opponent. But anyway, ended up not playing it. But it really got the brewer gears going in my mind, and thought, wow, this is actually playable in Standard. At least it's a wacky wombo combo. Now, I'm sure there's going to be an iteration that's better than the one that I have in front of you. This is just my first try at this. I started with like a black-red deck, and then I realized that, wow, it's going to be very, very tough for a black-red deck to ramp into. At that point, you have to use like big score and other ways to make treasure tokens, then hopefully get to 7, but then you're sacrificing your treasure tokens, and it just seemed like kind of a weird, combo there. So I thought, okay, let's go with green. Green's good at generating mana through, there's a couple cards, permanents, that can actually go ahead and ramp and keep back the permanent. And maybe that's the strategy that I am going to go for. So one of the cards I also opened up in my previous kit was this Bitter Reunion. And these cards just seem like they're perfect for each other. They're just a match made in heaven. Bitter Reunion allows you to give all your creatures haste. It's going to be a little bit awkward, though, to have the extra 1 mana open to sacrifice to give all your creatures haste. But if you can hold off until you have 8 mana, then that's another way to then give everything haste and then attack in for lethal. Thinking that you'd have more cards than your opponents have. But the wombo combo with this particular deck is going to be Over the Top plus the Witty Roastmaster. So Witty Roastmaster says whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. So hopefully we're going to get enough stuff come out that it's just going to do enough damage to our opponent. And then it'd just be lethal right there. We're a pretty aggressive deck. Regardless of this, we have a good 1-drop aggressive creature. We have the Greeters. Some of these other creatures, actually, we're not that aggressive in this iteration. I had a black-red iteration using blood tokens, and that actually was very, very aggressive. But again, I'm going to have to go back and look to see if black-red's the right route to go. You do get some very, very sweet black cards that work with this. The two that I think work very well is Obnixilis, as well as the Bloodtide Harvester, I think is the 3/2 is called, that creates the blood token when it comes out, because they're just really, really high-powered cards to begin with. Then you can even run things like Liliana. It's a permanent that actually can still be your control. And black also has a few other like creatures or other things that can come down that are permanents that still act as control. And that's kind of what I like about this Bitter Reunion. Bitter Reunion is a permanent that comes down, stays out. So it's a loot effect, which we want to eventually get to our Over the Top, and it allows us to so it still keeps the permanent out and allows us to loot as well as give things haste. So it seems to be like the perfect card for this deck. Of course, we're running Fable, the Mirror Breaker. It's a 2-for-1. We can maybe get a treasure token out with this. Seem to be a Jewel Thief. Jewel Thief, and there's the one that creates the clue token. I don't know which one this slot's going to want. I'm thinking that treasure tokens are going to be more valuable than a clue token, because you can actually sacrifice the treasure tokens to then cast the 7-drop, and that might come into play. We have a couple of other cards that are kind of cutesy, like Arlinn. Arlinn is a 3-for-1. You create 2/2/2 green wolf creature tokens, as well as the Nightbound of adding 2 mana is actually relevant. And but the main thing is just you have create 2/2 green wolves. I mean, it's basically a 3-for-1 for 4 mana. There are a few other ways that I thought that this Over the Top might be fun to play, and maybe we'll try it in another iteration that will be a lot more focused on green. And that is with the Fight Club. What's the card that allows you to hide away and then exile cards out of the top of your library and then cast a card? Like Over the Top works really well off that, and it's a permanent that stays in play. and that might be another iteration that just ends up being better than this. So this is just basically the alpha phase of this deck. This is how brews start. I'm not saying that this deck is going to break standard. It's not going to break the meta, whatever. But some of my wonky brews, this is exactly how it started. It was just some crazy idea of an over-the-top card, and then it actually became viable. I'm thinking Marionette Master here. Marionette Master was kind of a joke card. It was just another card that I opened up like, wow, this card just seems super, super strong. And then I'm like, what? Wait, it combos with it. Wait, you can actually do... And then we found the Metalwork Colossus kind of combination and then really tuned it, and then that deck was very, very viable during those days. I think that was kind of my glory years of brewing, is that was kind of my masterpiece with the Marionette Master. I had an amazing win condition with that, or win percentage with that by the time it was finally tuned. So this is my kind of alpha. Don't make fun of it too much. If this is how things start, I like to show at the very brewing pot process and explain kind of why I put the cards in here and whatnot. And then maybe I'll actually keep working on this deck and seeing how well we can tune it. I know that I was going to give some updates for the Greasefang deck. Again, start of the year, when I start to get more time to do these, when things start to slow down, then I can get back to brewing, and maybe we'll start working week to week on the decks, on the cards that we chose, and see if we can maximize them. That's exactly what I get the most out of Magic, is I like to take cards. It's a thought experiment for me. It's kind of a puzzle to solve. I don't really care about going 20-0 in a tournament. I really care about just how good can we make this card? How much can this card shine? And that's why I really like these brewing cards, like the Greasefang, like the Over the Top, like the Marionette Masters. Those type of cards are super, super catnip for me to just really, really try to push the envelope of what those cards can do in a particular format. So I don't know what the mana base is, if there's something missing here. I think these are the two faster lands, is Rockfall Vale and Karplusan Forest. So we actually don't want too many lands that come into play untapped, so I think this is going to be fine. The only thing in here that is double green and double red. Let's just go about one by one the cards. The Epicure is just a duh card in here. It creates a blood token as well as does a damage when it comes into play. It's just a 1/1. It can chump block. It can dish off some early damage. The Bitter Inn, we explained it. The Gala Greeters is pretty cool because it starts creating you those treasure tokens. And that's basically what we want it here for, is hopefully it starts getting a 2-for-1. The Fable, the Mirror Breaker, just this card needs to be banned. It's so powerful. It needs to be banned in standard. If it flips, I can see us actually winning without the combo just by creating value creatures. Witty Roastmaster is pretty sweet here. I can actually see a version of this deck in the future just being like, let's just not go for the Wombo combo. Let's just go for as much insane value as possible. Like I said, with the Fight Club type strategy, then we could start going things like the 5/4 that comes into play and gains life to stabilize, as well as the Titan of Industry could go in that deck. And Titan is just a double. Titan's good before and over the top, and it's after it's good after and over the top. There's a lot of hasty creatures that I think could just win the game. There's the new 6-mana dragon that comes into play and deals 4 damage to any target. There are things that we might be able to do better with over the top. I just want a low end curve that can be aggressive, that then can go into this high over the top curve and hopefully outvalue our opponent. I even thought about going with white tokens with over the top. You have the enchantment, the Wedding. That also is a 3-for-1 by the time it hits. There's the couple Planeswalkers in white that dish out, can pump out creatures. And at that point, that might be a better strategy to go. Again, this is just the very, very early iterations of these cards. Oh yeah, so I guess I'll explain the rest of them, getting off on tangents here. The 2 ramp spells that I'm going to try is this Weatherseed Treaty. I think it's pretty good to search for. You get a basic land into play, tapped, then you create a 1/1 green sapling token. So it's a 2-for-1 right there. This might be the first card cut because this domain is pretty weak. We're really just using it for it's a 1/1 that also searches for a land. And maybe that's not where this deck wants to be. Maybe there's a better card in this slot, but that's what I'm trying to go for at the moment. There are a couple other cards too. There was a 2/1 that creates a treasure token that I thought was pretty good, or it creates a treasure token or a 1/1. It's kind of like another jewel thief type card. In fact, this might just want to be a Jewel Thief because I'm not sure how good this 1/1 soldier creature token is compared to a 3/3 Vigilance with Trample. Let's go a 3/3 split here just to kind of see which one is better here. Same with the Topiary Stomper. This one's kind of weird too. Gets a little bit weaker with the Weatherseed Treaty getting out of here. But, yeah, I don't know. These both come to play tap too. I wish there was a way to untap lands when they come in, because over the top plays on your turn, and then your opponent has a lot of permanents they're going to get as well. But anyway, that's enough explaining it. let's get right. Let's actually name this deck. Let's name this deck Over the Top. And let's lose some matches in Standard and see how terrible this deck is. And again, not much, the most time today, we'll play a couple games. This is, again, just best of one. I haven't even tried to create a sideboard. That's something that can happen later down the road. So, let's go ahead and find our over-the-top deck. There it is. And we'll do some ranked in gold, because I haven't played Arena that much, and see how well this sucker does. So again, really looking forward to comments in the comment section below of what maybe I've missed. I haven't really even looked at Brothers War. I'm going to be doing a Brothers War top 10 cards I want to brew with coming up soon. This seems like a decent hand here. The Bitter Union's good to loot. It's going to come out a little bit later too. And Evolve, Sleeper, huh? So that's a good card to draw. We got the Epicure, which then makes our opponent might want to decide to stay defensive. And we just need to dig for over the top and hopefully stabilize. The problem with black is black's just so good with these. Black has everything right now in Standard. It really needs to, like, shouldered absolutely needs to be banned. And now even with like Misery Shadow, this card is insanely good too. This is one of the best cards. I think this might be the best card out of the set for what it does, because it exiles creatures, which is super relevant in this format, and a 2/2 for 2 mana with Pumpable is super, super strong. So let's just go ahead and go with the Greeters and pass a turn. Unfortunately, we're going to get hit hard here, and hopefully we can get out. I think we go Topiary Stomper and then gain 2 life just to try to stabilize. Yeah, we just have to survive and then dish out Shouldered. But again, not being interactive with this sort of format with like threats that can be the win cons themselves just makes it very, very awkward. So no blocks here. See if our opponent pumps some. Just going to go with Evolve Sleeper and possibly pump. Nope. Going down to 15. And a cut down. That actually hurts. So I don't know where to go here. Another Bitter Union is pretty terrible, actually. So the Stomper is actually really bad. This might... No, this is just worse. Stomper. Yeah, we need lands. But just black. Look how aggressive black is. It's just insanely aggressive. And this is not what I wanted to see on the first round. Because black's exactly... You know, establishing a 1-drop and a 2-drop and then having removal to back it up. Shoulder's probably going to come down this next turn. That's pretty rough. But, I mean, I'm also thinking that like something like Topiary Stomper could work here, as well as the burn down the house. Because, no, it does kill Topiary Stomper. I was thinking something that does 3 damage then. Like any sort of 3 damage removal, and then we can start looking at cards. Or even a bunch of 3/3s. Can we do both? We can't do both. This is what's bad about missing a land drop here. See if we can actually... Bitter Reunion, hit a land. I think we got to go Bitter Reunion here. And we can definitely get rid of a Bitter Union. And I think this Weatherseed Treaty. Discard. Oh, I don't have to discard 1 card. So Weatherseed Treaty is just going to be too slow. So I think we're going to go with Weatherseed Treaty. And we do hit our land drop. So unfortunately, it's the wrong color. But this allows us to go here. Hopefully there's not another cut down. And then here. And unfortunately, I don't know, what do we need to do? Create a tap treasure token? I think we need to gain. Nope, let's create a treasure token. So, look though, if we did have the over the top, I think we'd be in good shape here. I think we're going to have to start chucking these Epicures in front of stuff, though, because they can't be taking that much more damage. But we have 1, 2, 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 permanents out, which is pretty good. So, like, I think we're just going to go here. Pump, pump. We don't need to block with both. How much damage is going to do? 4, 5, 6? Yeah, let's go here. Okay. So just take a 1 permanent down. And our opponent's going to help us by drawing some cards. But I mean, that's probably bad for us. But I mean, they're going to spend their mana. So hopefully Greeters doesn't die here. Okay. Menace, Lifelink, Ward, Pay Life. And an underdog. Okay, so we did not want to see a land. Or did we? Because the Stomper puts us... Stomper puts us at... not enough. I think we have to gain life here, which sucks. And then get a green. Bitter Reunion can draw. We need to loot and hopefully 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hopefully draw land here. Okay, we did draw land. And now our Stompers can block. But we're still in so bad shape. So we didn't find, out of 18 cards, we didn't find the card we were looking for. So unfortunately. Unfortunately, that's a... Opponent's just going to swing out here. That's actually pretty rough. Our opponent swings out. We'll have to block with everything, and it's just going to be rough. Really? So, force out some pumps. I think the best way to block this, what is this? Menace, Lifelink, Ward. So we're going to go like this, I think, is the best way to do it. Because it just turns into Death Touch. Put a Death Touch counter, comes with 3/3. That has to pump 2. And we don't lose the Terra Stomper here. Pump 3, yeah. So that's okay. Don't think we're going to be able to find... We'd have to YOLO draw here, and we don't have enough. Liliana the Vale kind of hurts, too. See if our opponent's going to make us both discard a card.
This is my home, and
That's probably even more rough. Make us a sacrifice a creature, huh? That's...
I've always hated it.
Unfortunately, I don't think we got there, so... Nope, we did not find it. Not find it in all those draws. So Bitter Reunion actually does seem good to smooth out the draws. But this is where it comes in where maybe that burn down the house would be super good because it can create the devils. The problem is you can't hit it off of the over the top. And again, this is our kind of our one trick. But that's why I like going like the black route too. Or maybe... yeah, or the Fight Club route is because we stabilize a lot better off of some of the cards. And it might just be a better way to... This seems pretty trash. I don't think we can keep this. Well, we'll keep it just for the sake of seeing how bad it's going to play out. Because we are on the play. We do have the Celestus, which can do... And then Arlinn. And if Arlinn goes into Night, too, that's pretty good. We can actually manipulate it with... we did find a 1 or 2 drop. Yeah, but that black matchup is absolutely going to be rough. That and the mono blue, I think, will be the 2 most rough matchups because they can... This is a self-mill or a... Okay. Okay, this is going to give us time. So Fable was pretty good draw because it gives us the 2/2 that can now give some treasure tokens. And we have Arlinn. We go Arlinn. We could go... And Fable also helps us loot, too. So actually, we do have a lot of ways to really get to where we need. But the opponent does have counters. That sucks. We don't want to be running into that. Probably just going to bounce this Goblin Shaman. No, we're going to go for Titania. There's our over-the-top. Okay. So we need the roast. The Roastmasters are just good to get in later, I think. Yeah, I'm going to go like this. And Arlinn. Okay. So create 2/2/2s. But 2 of the Roastmasters are gone. Trying to figure out what's the better route to go. I think this is actually the better route to go. And then... Unfortunately, we don't get does a treasure token worth it here is the thing. To attack into this? I don't think so. So opponent does have to cast a Curate right now by spending mana, which is good. Maybe I should have... Well, maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. I'm not sure what's the better route to go here. That's nice of my opponent to attack in. We'll take that. Because now we get a treasure token. Nice, nice. And we get the... Definitely a tapped treasure token here. That's a nice little combo with the reflection. And here, and then we can go Arlinn. To create 2 tokens of the wolf varieties.
I fight for everyone who fears the encroaching night.
Just gonna go a cut down on reflection. Okay, that's fine. So gain 2 life, put a counter, and we get a treasure token. And I think we still do fate. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So with the treasure token the next turn, I think we spend our mana here. And we got the over the top, so we just have to wait till our opponent taps out. And I guess maybe we actually will see this play out. So over the top. Unfortunately, there's 2 Witty Roastmasters. And we don't have the excess mana to give everything haste too. And we might even have to attack in. That's another card I thought about running, is Old Rustine, because it's pretty good at creating blood tokens or treasure tokens. Okay, so we definitely want this Gala Greeters bend. Unfortunately, it's another over the top. And you did not. We can play this though. It costs us a treasure token. Well, let's go for it. Here goes the over the top. So do you want to go domain with this? I don't think so. We'll start with... So we saw it. It's not that great of a... We'll create a tap treasure token, gain 2 life, put a +1 counter on it. Gave our opponent quite a bit of lands too, though. I guess that's what... You can actually chain into other over-the-tops. We get another over-top in the bin. Get some lands out. I should have done an Arlinn first. Yeah, that was dumb. I should have done Arlinn first. That was stupid of me. So Arlinn actually has a combo with this deck. They would get a little bit bigger. But I just ramped my opponent
On my signal,
pretty hard too. So we're not going to attack in. See what I did to my opponent. Let's see what they have. Is there some sort of like everything goes back to my hand, wipe my board card? Let's see what nonsense I did. No, just a 2/2. My opponent might have a counter. Yeah, all of these would have entered bigger, so that was dumb of me. I would have like a big... My opponent is tapping out, though. So we're going to have another over the top. And that should kill with the Witty Roastmaster, hopefully. But the problem is that yeah, there's the Witty Roastmasters here. We got to find a bigger over the... Oh, so but Fable's still super good. Arlinn's still super good. Oh, we might be able to chain in here. And we haven't found the bigs, the loot one either. So, yeah, creating a tap treasure token's fine. Putting a counter's fine. And decline any of these. Now, let's do it correctly. Opponent has 2 mana, so they theoretically could. So we're going for over the top. Where do we want this? Do we want it on... That's fine, on 1. Actually, I should have gone domain there because it would give something +2/+2, but it's not that big of a deal. And I don't even know what happened here. Opponent has some legendaries. So gaining 2 life, I guess. Let's see. I guess still treasure token is fine. Counter's fine. Gaining 2 life. Opponent does able to use this founding the 3rd path, which can do some cut downs. Just gonna go for the throat. There's too many triggers. I'm gonna break arena here too. So go for the throat on Witty Roastmaster. What a jerk. The jerk store called. So Witty Roastmaster does die. And gets to gain some life off of the Obscura. Look at these triggers. So now I'm thinking about it, it makes this enchantment a little bit better, the Bitter Union, because we do get a land. I was thinking it was non-lands came into play with over the top, but you can actually get lands with it as well. My opponent's gained a lot from milling. And I'm creating a bunch of treasure tokens. And unfortunately, those Witty Roastmasters were in the bin. Okay, so I think we would have. So decline here, decline here. Let's cast another one. That's pretty funny. So some sort of card draw, into the battlefield card draw. So this definitely wants number 2. Yeah, not number 1 for the Witty Roastmaster. We got it to work, unfortunately. Did we just mill out? Yeah, we found everything. So maybe we don't want to try. So we could care less here. I mean, all these are going to trigger. Didn't quite mill my opponent out. We got some Epicure to Voldaren. This is just a mess. I'm glad it actually worked on our second try, though. We're going against an opponent with another, like, brewish card. I mean, the way Raider Muster doesn't matter. It's already done its job. I guess we have a couple other triggers here. I'm just... What other nonsense is happening? Okay, 10, 9, 8. Do we have any lands left? No, we don't. 6, 5, 4, 3. Bitter Union. Sack of Bitter Union. This is definitely worth it. "23 attackers come in. A couple of them have vigilance. None of them I put out as like lifelink, does it? We did it! It's just 2 tries. Okay, there's definitely some problems with this deck, but there's definitely some cool things as well. I still don't know how I like this weather seed treaty. But the Fable is super strong. The loot effect too is super strong. Is there any other cards that just drain when they come in? I mean, the dragon would be super cool, but I mean, you want stuff that comes out early too. That's kind of the Achilles heel with this deck, though, is you want things that also come in early, but also can finish the game, because you need things to create some. Ay. But possibly just a treasure token's better than a land. Okay, so this is pretty terrible. Of course, we can't keep this hand. This is a little bit better. And I think the Roastmaster is the weak one. So just start with the Rockfall Vale, go into the... Yeah, we need to find some more looters. But mono blue is going to be rough. Mono blue is going to be super rough for us to deal with. Because we don't have any sort of flying or reach. So mono blue and mono black, I think, because they really... the 2 interactive decks are going to be super tough for us to deal with. Oops, I played that wrong, but we can do this. Gonna go for a negate. Okay. And our deck wants to draw these Witty Roastmasters. Yeah, because this is going to keep our board kind of weak, too, is the problem. We had Mulligan, too. So, do I want a +1 encounter or a tap treasure token? Let's go with the treasure token, of course. Just because if we can get a big top, then we'll be good. I think we need another green here. Opponent's going to be digging for that haughty Jin. And found it and can protect it. So we don't even want to attack him with our Terra Stomper. So let's go like this. Maybe I need to gain some life. Oops, should have done the other one. That was dumb of me first. Well, maybe not, because now gaining life is actually pretty good after the Witty Roastmaster comes out. And unfortunately, I think I keep this land in our hand just because it gives us some more loot options. But I can't attack in with the Stomper anyway. Gonna go for another consider. Yeah, we're just gonna die for going over the top of us, but... so, gain 2 life. I think at this point we need to gain 2 life. We'll do tap treasure token. And then pass the turn. Because again, I need to loot. I need to loot with this Rockfall Vale if I can find. So, definitely go to 4 of those if I didn't have 4. I think I brought it all the way up to 4. But it does have to keep everything back. That's the good news. And the bad news for us is we're getting quite thin. Oh, found the doubles. Yeah, we are pretty much dead here. Do you just go for it and hopefully draw it? Needed that Rockfall Vale to be a big score. If that was the case, I think we would have won this one too. Because we have so many permanents out. But yeah, it's gonna be rough. I think your opponent might be able to just do 22 damage in like a couple swings. They have been keeping their mana back. They actually got rid of a Tolarian Terror, huh? So wanted to hit the land drop. There's a Tolarian Terror. Should be attacking in now for just 12. And yeah, they have, he's going to attack in for 6. Yeah, because it's going to be lethal the turn after. We have no way to interact with our opponents is the problem. So, unfortunately, that's going to be game. We drew too many lands. And Mono Blue is just unwinnable. We'd have to change up a lot of things to even have a chance versus Mono Blue. Is there some cyber slots that can't be countered and you can hit a... I think you can still give it hexproof, though. It's just a really, really rough matchup. You want to be aggressive versus the black... Definitely the black-red version of the 3-2 coming out. Oftentimes, just 3-2 is enough to really put pressure on the Mono Blue. Because the Mono Blue just dirtles a lot. They have to then run a lot of bounce spells and things like that. So, okay, this is okay with the Bitter Reunion. We got the Greeters. We got the Witty Roastmaster in every opening hand, which we don't want to see. Mono Blue, come on. I get you guys are poor. So yeah, you build the Mono Blue because it requires no mythics. But, geez, I guess just go up rank by... The Mono Blue just doesn't have a good win condition versus any of the top tier decks is the problem. There's our over the top. So now we can go Greeters. See if it gets countered, because that's all they do is counter stuff. Yup. So that might actually hurt. We have Fable of the Mirror Breaker, though. It can come out this turn. Perfect. And might be able to bounce it, but feel pretty good. Yeah, bounce. It's still like it's still a 2-for-1, and we'll be able to loot. And we can get rid of the Witty Roastmaster at this point. Possibly Bitter Reunion, just to try to dig. There's found the. Yeah, now we definitely want to. Witty, Bitter. Unfortunately, double land. That sucked. And let's go. Basic land. Unfortunately, they're just going to keep up mana for the Jin. And we really don't have a lot of... Ugh. They're keeping up mana for the counter, too. Oh, Mono Blue. Can still keep up mana for the counter. We get a 1-1 and a 2-2. Yeah, I'm just going to be a turn behind with this one. Okay, not terrible. Not terrible. So, go like here and here. One, two, three, four, five, 6. So I'm gonna YOLO here to try to get land. We missed the land, but we hit it by going this route, which might just be better. Really? I don't know why my opponent would use a counter there. Ends up being the right play because I kind of got greedy with the 7 mana. There's a Tolarian Terror. There's an Impulse. So now we'd have to draw into a land. Yeah, I'm kicking myself for discarding that land because I thought I'd draw a land in 2 draws. But that was end up being the wrong play. And I think my opponent still does have just a... Oh, there's a land. Okay. Well, let's go for it. So, let's just go here. Here. And see if we got it. I doubt it, though. Probably get countered. And there is the counter. Yeah, Mono Blue is impossible. It's going to be impossible the way this deck is built by not being aggressive enough with the 1s and 2 drops. You have to really get underneath it. Sacrifice is also really good. So like Liliana is. I'm hoping it gets weeded out because Mono Black, but again, Mono Black's really rough for us too. So we'll see. It depends on how they build the Mono. Yeah, it's really rough because they put all the good creatures in black that can just take over the game. This is actually keepable. Excuse me. Yeah, Arena's unplayable. Look at this nonsense. Again, I get that this is what happens with Arena. Is it forces all these people into the same decks when they're grinding, because this is just a super, super cheap deck to build. It's just commons, mainly commons and like one rare. And so everyone and their grandma is playing this in the gold rank just to grind cards because of the stupid economy of how Arena is. And it just leads to such a miserable experience. In at least on MTGO, you can play against. I mean, you can build these type of decks that I built for super cheap because the cards aren't sought after. So I think tap land's fine here. Yeah, there's no point to a Bitter Reunion now because their opponent will just counter it. But we do have the over the tops. We can find some treasure generation. But unfortunately, this deck is definitely going to have to figure out an answer for this mono blue nonsense. Okay, let's attack first. Good news is we are getting in for some damage. Bad news is it's probably going to get countered. No, it does not get countered. So, the forest can go bye-bye. And in turn, we will be able to... I think we might want to sacrifice a blood token to get rid of a Witty Roastmaster. No, I think the only way we do win is to resolve it. So here comes a Hadi Jin. Man, this is the most redundant. This deck makes you throw up. It's the same game over and over. It's just dig for the Jin. And then cast it ball. Okay, they're going to go Tolarian Terror, which actually, Tolarian Terror is actually weak. It's a lot weaker because we have blockers for days for it. So, what's better, a Greeter or Fable of the Mirror? Now I'm wishing I would have. No, Fable's probably worse. I don't like either, unfortunately. I think we'll go Fable. Most likely it's going to get bounced. Spell Pierce? Well, if I knew there was a Spell Pierce in my opponent's hand, I would have played the other route. Yeah, now that's really sucks. Now we really have to draw a card. Just going to go Thrill. And now we're just going to get countered from here on out. We can take some damage. That's fine. Ugh, I hate doing this. Maybe I should have just got rid of him over the top. Okay, we hit the land, which is good. Wanted to make sure that we hit the land. And we can go Bitter Reunion again. And this time I will get rid of an over the top because the second one's kind of redundant. But this kind of televises what we're doing. Jewel Thief is pretty good. But maybe Greeters is just better? I'll go Jewel Thief. This makes it weird for my opponent attacking it. Most likely, I thought I was going to get countered there. Well, now we have to hit a land. Most likely can get bounced. Still has a clutch of cards in hand. They're just going to phase it out, huh? And put a counter on it. Kind of weird. To burn that. At this point, I can still take some damage. Opponent's just going to leave stuff up from here on out. Oh, bitter union. Not number 3. Man, all these things are coming in weird. At least we can go like this. And then Witty Roastmaster. Because it gets our treasure back. Double thrills. We have to start blocking with the Epicure. Yeah, but unfortunately there's just so much counter left in my opponent's hand that it's not going to do anything. Do I even wait for my opponent? I drew every over the top? Okay. What to do here? There's Thrill, number 17. Land. Gonna just pass, huh? Okay, we'll go with Terra Stomper. We'll go with Terra Stomper. Yeah, this deck is so Haughty Jin dependent because the Tolarian Terror, I'm not sure what other win con. Some of them are just running the 4/4. Some are running Delver. I mean, then who cares about the Fading Hope? Just wants me off a treasure. And then might counter this. Nope, okay. So that works. We get a Forest. It's fine. And a damage. And now we'll go the Greeter. And another damage. So, I mean, we're doing good here. Give haste and attacking with everything, and that's lethal. We could try. Did I just go for it? We got Vigilance and Vigilance. I guess we could win this way. Puts a lot of pressure on my opponent. And can have another Fading slip out the back. Okay, just does that. Goes to a 2. Okay. So much mana. I just have to cast 2 creatures, too. Uh-oh. That hurts. Impulse. Obviously, my opponent has a counterspell in hand. Oh boy. Okay, I just have to cast 1 creature. So that might be, or 2 creatures. A counterspell just ruins my day. So Witty Roastmaster actually does it. We beat Mono Blue just because they had to dig for their Jins. We'll play again. Hopefully we don't have to go up against this trash deck. Oh man, this makes me so salty because I remember when last time they had a mono blue, it was the same crap. It was that curious, and everyone. I mean, it was just so like you'd never see it in. It was kind of a one trick pony just like this is. So it was very 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 susceptible to disruption, but it was just so cheap to build with the wild cards. I think this is. Ew, this is not keepable. Is it keepable? This is so close. But let's YOLO it. Terrible keep. Horrible keep by me. We YOLO'd the... Oh, wow, this is horrible. So now we'd have to draw a land this next turn. I was hoping to draw a land in 3 things. This is going to get... The Greeter's going to get killed. Yep. Oh, at least we have something to do with our mana. That's fine. Wow, okay. Maybe in 5 draws we can draw a land? No, we can't. Okay. That's that. Keep a 2-lander and not draw it in the whole... Okay, I'm just going to go on the next one. That's ridiculous. That's a full mulligan that we didn't draw a land. So, bad keep. Shouldn't have kept it. Don't do that, kids. Don't keep the 2-lander. But yeah, ridiculous there with the not finding a land in 6 cards. So almost a full mulligan without a land. Terrible odds. All right, so hopefully we can find that matchup again because I actually do want to go up against the control. This is ridiculous with these 2-landers, but we do have the bitter reunion, so that's fine. Let's get some Epicures going, and a blood token too will be nice to loot if we need to do that. And a Swift Spear. Swift Spear's back in Standard? I didn't even know that. Oh, wow. There could be some good mono red going. So now we desperately need a land here. This is ridiculous. So we'll go Epicure. I just can't win today. Swift Spear. And I kind of want to go into a Topiary Stomper next turn, but I think we have to start playing. If I don't draw a land, it has to be... Okay, I'm just going to start going to the face, huh? Okay, that actually makes me want to go Jewel. Ugh. Yuck. Absolutely yuck. So Stomper's going to be useless now, or Roastmaster's going to be useless. There's a land, but it's the wrong color. Ay, ay, ay. Opponent missed a land drop too. We are going to end up like getting rid of this other Epicure with this blood token just so we can hit lands. Hopefully for the love of God, we can hit some lands. And I'll have to dig for them. We have so many lands coming up. Reckless Impulse. Opponent missed a land. Play with fire. Probably go raise is better. To dish off some damage. Just another budget deck for what my opponent's doing. Yeah, raise seems good. Okay, down to a 9. We gotta crack a blood token. Get rid of an Epicure. To try to draw. I don't know, folks. I don't know. So, Stomper at least gets us a land. But this gets us a Epicure. And I think I just have to stay back and block now. So, missed the land drops one. And we only have 4, so we're not going to get up to over the top. So this is going to be awful. Huh. So maybe instead of the one that searches for land, maybe a creature that actually adds mana. The 1/3 that can add mana might be better in that slot. Or there's a 0/2 plant that puts it into your hand. It doesn't ramp as the problem, but it's a 0/2 plant at least that goes and gets a basic land. I'm also trying to think of anything else in this slot that could work. Because we are having a rough time getting up to the mana we need. My opponent go play with fire on the Epicure and then attack in. And I think at that point we're just pretty much donezo. Our deck really wants to draw these Roastmasters. Or any other ramp type spell that I might be not thinking of when I was looking to build this deck might be a good. I'm still I wonder how hard it go just to go into Jund if it hurts our mana base, just because that 3/2 is such an aggressive card. Being able to basically trade with any of their 2-drop to be able to kill with the blood tokens has synergy with the Epicure. If you don't use them, it's still. Oh, okay. We're pretty much donezo here with the double Swiss Spears. So 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna risk it. Yep, there's prowess. And they have another spell. We just die. Okay. Yep, we are dead. All right, so let's get a game where we actually get land drops after we loot for 4 cards. Or draw 4 cards off of Bitter Reunions. So I'm going to make a change real quick to the deck. I think that I'm not liking these enchantments. I get what they do, but I'm just not. I think Jeweled Thief is better. I mean, our lands are fine. It's 16 plus 4 plus 8. We're at 24 lands. That should be fine. Could go the 0/2, the plants, but again, that's kind of an awkward one. It doesn't put into play. I could go another like Mana Rock, but I think I'm gonna go some Mana Dorks are kind of weird because they don't really ramp into anything else here. They just go into possibly an Arlinn, but maybe Arlinn's better than I'm giving it credit for. So mana. What gives some mana? Or even like just like another 2-drop might just be fine, or 1-drop that's aggressive. So we have the Taxidermist, which is just strictly worse than this Llanowar Loam Speaker. But again, it's not really like utilizing the mana here. Is what I don't like about the Loam Speaker. I get it, you could cast like 2 creatures in a turn, but I think we'd want something else that just puts out a treasure token or a clue token is fine. I know there's this naturalist when it attacks it adds, but it seems kind of bad. Because you still lose it at the end of turn. So I'm not quite sure. There's also the other saga that puts in the 1/1 that then turns into that can add for mana and then turns into a dragon. So it's another like kind of 2 for 1 like this Fable. So let's go back over to treasure tokens and see what we could put in here. I mean, the Exhibition Magician seems okay. The Riveter's Requisitioner actually seems pretty okay too, with being able to die and put out a treasure token. Seems fine. But after that, we're kind of slim pickings of what I think could go in this. I mean, Big Score could be another thing because you are going for creating 2 treasure tokens, but you don't find it off of it. You want permanents here. I thought about Atsushi because it dies, create 3 treasure tokens. Seems pretty good too. But all in all, I think we want some more 1-drops or 2-drops. Such a good 2-drop that just leaves back any sort of token. There is a couple of these that they die. They create a blood token when they die, like the Blood Petal Celebrant, but it just seems kind of weak. Yeah, maybe it's 3/1 just to have it play. It's an aggressive card too, so it comes out with the over the top and the then giving haste is pretty decent. But other than that, I'm really not seeing. I wonder how good this Yotia Declares War is. Creates a 0/2 Thopter, which is fine. And then you can tap untapped artifacts, deal damage to target creature Planeswalker. It is removal. And we are kind of lacking like removal. It just does 1 damage is the problem. With the Epicures, it does more. but it might be able to stabilize us versus some of this stuff, and we're having a hard time. I also did think about the Professional Facebreaker, which is 1 per turn, which is kind of weak. Yeah, some other weak stuff here. It just really seems like going to Jund for that other blood token. The 3/2 is strong. And then, okay, so actually, going into red-black with the Yotia Declares War with blood tokens, treasure tokens, and... Well, I don't think you go Power Stones at that point, but this isn't terrible. I don't like the 4/4 part. I wish it would, like, create something back. We get a 0/2 and we get a dish off damage. Maybe I'll try it in this slot here. It feels like more of a sideboard card. Yeah, I need to put this guy in no matter what. Where's Boseiju, too? I need to put Boseiju in. Forgot those cards exist. They're just strictly better than other stuff. But anything in green. Get a 1/1 color spirit token. That's pretty... This, again, you get two for 1 with his teachings. But it takes a while. The Briarbridge Tracker 2 seems pretty good. But I'm going to go 2 Yotia Declares War. See how well they work. I don't know. We'll have to mess around with the card. It seems a lot better in the blood token strategy that we'll have to play. All right, this will be my last one because we are approaching over the hour mark, which is what I like with these videos. And we're actually coming up on the end of Tuesday. Can't even call it Tuesday Brewsday now on the East Coast because we're into Wednesday. Alrighty. Seems pretty trash, but we'll keep it. There's also is that glitter, the 1 mana 1/1 first striker that you can sack to add mana. Seems pretty decent too. Even like just ramping into Fable the Mirror Breaker on turn 2 doesn't seem bad. That's like, yeah, that's another one we could definitely give a gander. The Greeter is pretty good here because this is going to allow us to Fable. Probably, actually, we'd want to go Topiary Stomper, I think. And get a tap treasure token. You gonna counter it? Okay. Let's hit some lands. Let's hit land drops. They're so wonderful to hit deck. It's so great just to curve. There's a Fable of my opponents. So now, that's ugly. Bitter Union, we can try to hit. Well, we can read ahead. Read ahead, we could kill this. But then that seems pretty bad to miss out on the Thopter. The Stomper seems pretty bad. We do a Fable of our own, which seems pretty bad. I want to hit a land drop here and then be able to do something else. So I think this is the right call. We have double. I think the Declares War card is actually pretty bad now. Or Fable. Maybe Fable is the bad card here. So we did hit a land. So this allows us to put a 0/2. And then... Unfortunately, we can't do Bull. Oh, yeah. We'll have a treasure token that could kill off. That's fine. Okay, so not shabby. We got 5 mana, 6 mana with the mountain. Now we definitely need to start looting to try to find the over the top. Can't block it. It's just gonna... Yep. We can take care of it next turn, though, by tapping to kill 2. Unless our opponent decides to kill the Thopter. This is rough. Well, Thopter dead. Bitter Union dead. Invoke was rough. Now we're getting too many lands. We're not going to do that. I guess we could have tapped it for damage, but I think actually using the treasure token to ramp here is better because we can go Stomper and Fable. So treasure token. Yep, green's fine. And Fable's fine here. This can gain us 2 life. We can loot and hopefully find that big score. And my opponent does have a lot of cards out too. Let that go through because we want to attack with R. I think a trade's fine here. Because now the crew is a little bit tougher for the Reckoner. Infernal Grass. It seems kind of weak on a card that's not doing anything. But opponent's going to be able to gain some... Oh, Sheoldred. Sheoldred. Of course, coming out. So now we're in really bad shape with this looting. Doesn't do anything to Sheoldred, though. Let's get rid of both of these mountains. Let's go... Oh, Sheoldred's just going to wreck us here. Epicure? No, we want an Epicure. Let's get rid of both the mountains here. Okay, so we did find a... Let's go like this. Oh, this channel is actually pretty cool on the... At this point, do I need to gain some life? I'll do a tap treasure token. And... do another one. Gain some life here. But at this point, we need blood tokens just to dig now, I would assume. Gosh, I could channel and get 2 more, but we're just really at the mercy of actually finding our big score. Our big score can just take out the game here. But we're going to have to start blocking. Do I take the damage? Is the thing. Do I take it? I think I'm okay taking it because we need to go for broke here. Okay, we're going for broke. We are going to try to get the big score. That is not what we wanted. Wow. And do we need to go for it this turn? Think we do, unfortunately. This Sheoldred is just going to put in so much work. This is such a trash card. It has to be banned. If standards can be fixed, this card has to go. And that's not going to do it for us either. We're just going to pass. Another Abrade, on this time on the Reflection. Problem is, do we draw cards with anything? We do have, like... No, we don't. We could actually kill a Sheoldred. I'm actually really liking this Yotia Declares War. This, though, just kills me, correct? Because then I draw a card. Yep, that does kill me. All right, let's do one more. I'm actually going to put all the Yotia... Because we actually create a lot more tokens than I'm giving... We have treasure tokens galore that are coming out. So I'm going to adjust this one more time with the Declares War. And is Witty Roastmaster just terrible, or is the Topiary Stomper just terrible? The Stomper just seems like it's just not doing what we want it to do. I mean, I can't go down in anything else of... Like, Bitter Union, I don't want to go down, and it just seems like such a good card for looting. I mean, we've been having a problem. Witty Roastmaster just seems like it's the card that wants to be as a 3 of. And 23 land seems bad. The Celestus seems better. Let's go a Stomper. something like this, and see if this works out better with those 0-2s. They also buy some time. So that seems pretty good. That'll give us some more interaction at least. And I need to put Boseiju in when I think about it, because Boseiju is just a shoo-in. We can do little upgrades here and there to see how much we can get. There's a couple cards that do damage and leave back blood tokens to be okay too. Okay, so I guess we're going to see the Yotia Declares War to see how good this card actually can do. We do need to get to that mana of over the top. Another Reckoner. So create us a nice little Thopter. The problem in these matchups, like this might just be a sideboard card, because in this matchup it's just going to do nothing. At least we had to kill a Wedding Announcement, which is fine, I guess. So I guess it was pretty good. So then I'm going to go Stomper here. I think Stomper's just better. While they're tapped out. And we can get a Forest. And yeah, I really wish this card would do something. I really wish it would have flipped into a permanent after Yotia Declares War. Instead of giving something a 4/4, it would just flipped into something. So the Roastmaster. Do I want to make the Thop? Yeah, my opponent wants to use a removal spell on the Thopter. It's fine. Opponent will tap out too, so that is okay. So if they want to exile this 4/4, they do not. So we're going to go Jewel Thief. And Yotia Declares War, which is fine. We'll put it on the 0-2 again. And next turn, we actually can dish off some decent damage to our opponent. This is a Rafine deck. This has got to be a Rafine deck, is what I'm assuming. So my opponent does tap out for Rafine this turn, because we have over the top. That is good to go. Aw, boo. They're going to depopulate? Sad. Okay, do I want to go for over the top? I think we can wait one more turn for over the top. And we're casting it this way for the treasure, because the treasure is relevant. My poor board. The depopulate. Gonna keep killing my stuff, huh? My opponent's gonna get as much value as I am here. Rah, rah. I don't know about this over the top now because it's... Oh, that sucks. At least we get one more. Submit 0 because we don't want anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I guess 1 can. Yep, okay, that's fine. So, let's go for it. This actually helps my opponent more than me. Because they do have the 2. Yeah, that just didn't work. And we don't get any... Spirit Companion actually seems pretty good going like a white-red strategy with the Wedding Announcement. So I'm glad we did get that one game off. And if they didn't depopulate at turn 2, maybe we could have, chained off into some stuff. But now it's going to be super rough to come back from this. We have a Teferi. And yeah, my opponent can just go crazy. Didn't get enough off of that one. Anything in the graveyard before you actually get... Nope, can't get anything back with the... I guess the Bank Buster. It's another option in our deck. We could actually run the Reckoner Bank Buster, which wouldn't be bad. Looks like my opponent's just going to board wipe again. Yep, that's game. So, I don't know. It's rough for the meta. We did see the one game where we did combo off, which was with the goal of this entire thing, which I do think there's still merit to this deck. It's going to have to be definitely tuned with some other options with just trying to flood the board early. I think we have to interact more with our opponents. This is a rough meta, though. The removal spell is so good. Removal is insanely good right now in Standard. We have this kind of tempo. It almost feels like Modern, like how Modern played out when Modern was first started. With, of course, Liliana. You know, Thoughtseize Liliana was part of the format. And this format feels very, very similar to that. Just the power creep has been so crazy with Magic lately. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video regardless. It was a great thought experience. And thanks for coming on the journey with me. If you have any suggestions, be sure to put them in the comment section below. If you enjoy these videos, of course, like, subscribe, hit that bell icon, all that wonderful stuff to keep up to date with the latest brews. Kevin with Rogue Deck Builder. Thanks for watching.